Hey Abe, how are you, man?
I'm good. It's a pleasure to speak with you again. We talked
Yeah,
about Shining Girls, I think 3 years ago
yeah.
now, probably. Um,
I think yeah, wow, that long ago. Yeah. Yeah.
but it's great to see you back on Apple TV Plus in another
Yeah.
show that, has plenty of violence and darkness, but really feels different and has a little bit more of a sense of humor, even if not great
Yeah.
things happen to a lot of our characters.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. There's a weird humor thing in that one, right? It's like unexpectedly funny, I think.
Do you know anything about the book and how much did that play into, working on the show?
No, the way I came to the show was so, like crazy. I did. I mean, I didn't read the book. I didn't. It was, I was summoned. Like they called me on Friday, and I was on set on Monday. So it was one of the craziest things I have ever done. But I'm very happy. I'm very happy with the show, and I had a great time. I had a great time doing it. Past my first day. First day was very like I didn't even know where I was. I was very like, what's going on? Because Ridley shoots so fast with those six cameras, and they needed to shoot fast because they were reshooting that first episode entirely. And I just was like trying to survive that first day of shooting. But after that, it was a joy being there with Brian and connecting with him and working with Ridley Scott, man. That was yeah, fantastic. Peter Craig, the whole show was a blast to be in Philly. And I'm very happy with the result of the show.
It definitely starts off on a very intense note, just that first scene, where we think we're seeing one thing and then we're seeing another one. And I mean, you obviously have been in the world of drugs before with Narcos, but that's such a
Yeah.
completely different side of it. This feels like something that is very, um, just very intimate, the way that it's shot, especially with, all the characters. Manny is pretty likable. What do you like most about him?
I like that he's vulnerable. I like that he's not like the kind of the stereotype of the tough macho cop, drug trade cop show kind of guy. That's the thing that I like most about these two characters, but especially Manny, because Manny is very emotional. Like you said, I did, I played Pablo Escobar, and Pablo wanted to be there. He wanted to be the kingpin. He wanted to be. Manny didn't want to be there. He just wanted a way out, and he spends the entire show just trying to escape that cycle of violence that he got thrown into. So yeah, what I like most about him is exactly that. He's the opposite of what you would expect of a character in a show like that. It is a violent show. There is violence, but he's not he's not even good at that. He's not even good at what he does. He just wants to, yeah, have a life with Sherry, and maybe it's too late for him.
It does seem like he's sort of trapped and he doesn't necessarily understand the gravity of what he's gotten into. I think Ray gets that a little bit more. And Brian, as you said, he's really great. I watched him in Atlanta and Causeway, and I think one of his best performances actually is in the film Widows, where he's this villain. And so it's interesting to see him here because there's definitely again a comedy that underlies things like when he wants to figure out what the ringtone is to the phone that that he has, but it is still rooted in seriousness and I think a lot of trying to survive and also just loyalty to his best friend.
Yeah, yeah, Brian, it's amazing how he can find humor in things. Like when we were talking about humor in the beginning, it's a lot has to do with Brian. I think that Peter Craig too, like to be honest, like Peter Craig's he writes in a way that in this limit of like like the grenade scene is funny, right? Like and when they're fighting for that grenade, but it's such a it's very difficult to do what Peter does, which is like to find funny moments in very dramatic scenes. But Brian is very good at doing that. He does that in Atlanta. He's very good at seeing something that can be potentially funny in an unexpected scene. Yeah, it was really. I think that the dynamic of these two characters just works well. I mean, I think that Brian and I we 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 connected in a very honest and intense way as friends and as human beings. But I think that the way Peter wrote these characters is so precise. The difference, the different the dynamics of these two characters, they're so different, and they complement each other in such an interesting way. Like Gray being this, like more like the alpha guy in the relationship, and Manny being more like vulnerable and scared, and you can see afterwards like this dynamic doesn't it they pay the price for that dynamic too. Like it's not it sometimes I feel like it's sort of like a toxic relationship. It's a lot. There's a lot of love between them, but I think that Manny really needs to escape that. In order to escape his fate, he has to escape the relationship that he has with Ray. And you see that, and you can see that in that bus scene on episode 7, the scene in the bus where he finally, after everything that happens to him, he finds the courage in order to say to Ray exactly what he feels. It's a it's a it's a beautiful and tragic bromance, I guess, and you could say that.
Well, last time we talked about Shining Girls, and you mentioned how, had been a journalist, and it was your first time playing a journalist. And then I listened back, and we ended the interview by talking about how you had just wrapped shooting this film called Civil War. And I think it's
Yeah.
very interesting. I feel like I, see you running around with, in evading gunshots a lot. But Civil War is very one of the most serious things I've seen in a lot of ways, but also still has its sort of dark sense of humor. I actually saw it in the premiere in Texas during South by Southwest
Oh, were
at
you
the
there?
biggest screen in Texas, I think,
Yeah.
at the IMAX. And so I'm curious how you think that film landed with audiences, if that was what you expected from that.
I did. I mean, I that was a film that I knew it was going to be. I was so excited about this film. I had never read anything so as timely as that film, and I think that the Civil War is about the aftermath of a polarized political situation, which we all know exactly what it is here in the U.S., in Brazil, and the world is totally polarized. And I think that the film was very spot on in that, like, be careful because I mean this not saying that the civil war is going to happen anywhere, but like polarization creates social conflict. And even if it's like a father that stops talking to his son, or like this is already like disruptive. And so I felt that when I read the script, I was like, this is timely, man. This is one of the most timely things I have ever seen. So I was expecting a strong reaction from the audience, and I really like that film. I'm very happy with it.
Well, sticking with gunshots, but getting a little less serious, Mr. and Mrs. Smith was
Yeah,
another fun kind of thing. What was that
yeah.
experience like? And do you know if I don't know if you could say anything, but do you have plans to reappear in whatever comes of season two?
I'd love to. I'd love to. Uh, 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 that was a completely different thing. It was like that. Miss and Mrs. Smith was like, I was there to have fun, and I did. It was very fun to do that. Like to be with Parker and Donald and Maya in those scenes. It was just nice. It was just like the yeah the playing. the joy of playing and having fun and listening. It was just great. And it was and I think it's a very funny show. I can't wait to for a second season. I mean, I hope they still have me in that. I mean, we don't know if he died or if he didn't die. He's gonna see what happened to that guy after that scene. But if they want me in the second season, you bet I'm gonna be there because I had a really good time doing that.
Great. Do you have any other upcoming projects that you can share?
Um, I know. Yeah. It's great to talking to you. Abe. Always like yeah. Like I'm no. I'm here in London doing this film called 11817, which I'm very happy, excited about. Um, and yeah, and life is good.
What do you like to watch on TV these days?
I mean, I saw Adolescence, which blew my mind. So strong, I mean, I have three sons, and that show really moved me. And what else? Yeah, that was the thing that really that I saw recently that I was like, this is great. It's a great television. This is great piece of art. Yeah. How about you? What's the thing that you've seen recently
That's a
that
good question. I mean, I just watched The Last of Us, the second episode of the season, which was your
is
old
that
old
out
buddy.
already?
Yeah, just came out. Your old buddy Pedro Pascal,
Yeah.
and I think that season is great. And there's just so much. I love this time of interviews because there's just so much to catch up on. So many good shows out there.
Yeah, that's right.
But I really like Dope Thief and very happy to have had the chance to speak with you about it. And looking forward
Thanks,
to
man.
whatever you do next.
Thanks, Abe. It's great to talk to you always, bro.